Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We're waking up Sunday morning and everything is turning up Georgia football. A monster win late last night against Texas. You wake up Sunday morning to a monster commitment on the recruiting trail. The number one player in the country in the 2028 cycle, quarterback Jayden Wade, committing to Georgia. Now, this is massive for a multitude of different reasons. Number one, you get the best player in the country, the number one quarterback prospect in the 2028 cycle. What's even bigger than that, or at least just as big, is look at the impact that Jared Curtis had for Georgia on the recruiting trail. You're going to get that same kind of impact from Jayden Wade for the next 2.5 years. And he's playing down there at IMG Academy. He knows a lot of really good football players in the 2027 in 2028 cycle. And now he's carrying that Georgia flag. This is a massive commitment because Jayden Wade is a really good football player, and we're going to get into what he brings. This is going to massively help Georgia on the recruiting trail as well, especially when it comes to recruiting offensive talent. Because if you're Kirby Smart and you're Coach Bobo, you're pointing to Jared Curtis coming in as a freshman, you're pointing to Jayden Wade as the future and say, you come to Georgia, you're going to have quarterbacks throwing you the football. And Jayden Wade, this kid, in my opinion, freaking rocks. And what I love most about Jayden Wade, he's going to be a 3-year starter at IMG, right? Started this year for IMG Academy, 20 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Going to start his junior year, going to start his senior year. Well, what does that mean? Jayden Wade's going to come in with a lot of snaps under his belt at IMG pumps out NFL dudes. You feel like Jayden Wade's going to be really prepared to run this Georgia offense early when he gets up to Athens. Now, getting into Jayden Wade as the football player, beautiful looking prospect here. Like 6'4", close to 200 pounds, an absolute howitzer of an arm. And what I like about Jayden Wade is a lot of times with these really big quarterbacks, it's just fastballs. I'm a Michigan fan. We got Bryce Underwood up in Ann Arbor, and I think Bryce Underwood is an extremely talented football player, is still trying to figure out the pace that he wants to put on the ball. Bryce Underwood can rip it. That's kind of the only speed he has right now. When you turn on the film of Jayden Wade, when Jayden Wade wants to rip it over the middle of the field, he can put some serious velocity on the football. But when it comes to playing with some touch, he can also do that too. Layer in the football, throwing off platform, really good athlete as well. So he's a quarterback that has the arm that can make all the throws, really good athlete in two different ways. Number one, you can do some design quarterback runs. And I think Jayden Wade's going to get pretty damn big. Right, this kid's only a sophomore, probably going to play for Georgia around 225 pounds. So you can get him involved in the quarterback design run game, but he's also really good at getting himself out of trouble and throwing off platform and doing work outside the pocket. And look, what's the biggest difference between this Georgia offense this year with Gunner versus what you see with Georgia in 2024 is having a quarterback that can be an athlete, not only in the quarterback designed run games, but also getting him out of the pocket or getting himself out of trouble. That matters. And Jayden Wade's going to give that to you as well. Loaded quarterback room down there in Athens, Georgia. And here's the thing is you only need one of them to hit. And both of these guys are supremely talented. If you hit on either Jared Curtis or Jayden Wade, you're getting just put it as is, a Heisman caliber quarterback. That's how talented these quarterbacks that are coming to Georgia are. Now, I want to also give out some game balls from last night. So I had the opportunity this morning to sit down with a cup of coffee and watch that Georgia game back because we reacted to it last night. That was some initial reactions, just kind of firing them off. Got some game balls that I want to give out for what we saw from Georgia last night. By far the best version of Georgia we've seen. Before we do, and as always, the Georgia fans, appreciate you guys. But blast talking this football team on the trail, blast talking about this football team on the football field. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's take a look back at what we saw last night. And again, I said this last night. I want to hammer this home. It's been really, really fun to watch this Georgia team grow up. And we talked about it. The Georgia fans put it in the comment section. Back in September and early October, we knew this team was good. They had enough talent to be good. We weren't sure if they were great. We weren't sure if they were a national championship team. they have, at least last night, reached that form. Like Georgia plays that way on both sides of the football in the college football playoffs. It is a bona fide national championship contender. Been really fun to watch this team grow up because when you look at it, it's even Gunnar Stockton, who is a quote unquote veteran, been around the program. He's a year one starter, right? He's still getting his feet wet running this Georgia offense. But then you look at the rest of this play. You got two freshmen that are playing significant snaps on the offensive line. You got a lot of year two, year one, year two, year three guys on both sides of the football. Kirby Smart said as much going into the season. Like, this is a young team, but what's fun about being a young team, you're real damn hungry and you're getting better at a higher clip than if you're a team that has fifth and sixth year seniors. And you're seeing this Georgia team grow up and you're seeing them reach their best form when it matters most in the month of November, December. Now, looking back at what we saw against Texas, let's start on the offensive side of the football, man. Gunnar Stockton obviously gets a game ball. When you throw 4 touchdowns, you run one in, you're going to get a game ball, especially against that kind of defense. Can we give a game ball to Monroe Freeling? Remember this kid coming out of high school? Like really, really good traits. You knew it would take a year in it. Last year, dealing with some injuries was a little bit inconsistent. This year, dealing with some injuries was a little inconsistent early. Monroe Freeling, as this kid has gotten healthy and has kind of gotten to that back half of his year 3, is playing like an all SEC tackle. And you saw a lot of really good football players line up across from him last night. 34 dropbacks for Georgia last night. Monroe Freeling gave up 0 pressures. It's an elite number against that Texas defensive front. You got to give a game ball to both Juan Gaston and Dontrell Glover, too. Those freshmen continue. Dontrell Glover's been nails all year. Juan Gaston's starting to put it together. You got 2 guys that you can lean on a lot down the stretch in 2025. Then you flip it to the defensive side of the football, and to me, that's where the storyline really lies. Look, 35 points against Texas is really impressive. I'm not trying to overlook that. And what this team does in the red zone, that's big. There's a lot of realities where Texas maybe hangs around in this game if Georgia has to kick some field goals. When you have a guy like Gunner and you have that dual threat ability, you're scoring a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. That mattered last night. But going to the defense, because this is what flipped the switch last night. I just wasn't sure if this Georgia defense was good enough to win a national championship. That version of Georgia's defense certainly is. Now, who are the game balls going to? Again, what we said last night in some of the numbers per PFF bore this out. You might not have that Jalen Walker this year, but you had a bunch of different guys that really got after the quarterback. I mean, Elijah Griffin, 4 quarterback hurries, a 14% win rate. Christian Miller, 5 quarterback hurries. Joseph Jonah Ajone. I said that fast. Joseph Jonah Ajone, although inconsistent, and you can tell this is a year 2 guy that's not playing the most consistent football, he flashed with 4 quarterback hurries. It came from everywhere. And you felt like Georgia took some more risks on the defensive side of the football. Georgia likes to do a lot of 2-gapping. They like to build that run wall. Last night, they did a little bit more penetrating and say, hey, we know you can't run the football on us. And so we're going to take some risks and we're going to try to penetrate. We're going to try to impact Arch Manning a little bit more than what we've had, in weeks past. And it worked. I mean, 25 quarterback hurries on the night coming from all over the front 7. That to me is the biggest storyline about Georgia. Fun time to be a Georgia fan, man. And we said it last night. I'll say it again. These teams in the SEC and college football in general, they should have killed Georgia when they had the chance. Georgia was gettable in September and October. They're looking less gettable as the season goes on. And Kirby Smart, again, this is, to me, maybe the most impressive coaching job Kirby Smart's done. You look at the teams that won national championships, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from Kirby Smart, the best coach in the country, but that was a really good team, and he just made sure they did their job. This team needed some work. This team was and continues to be a little bit of a work in progress, but man, is this team getting better. Man, is this team growing up. Really fun time, really fun football team too. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.